Charlotte. This is Joe Coronado, also known as Chancla Academy, and you are watching the San Antonio Nerd Coalition. And his jeans are torn because he's fat.
How long have you been married? Or how long
I've been with my wife for 26 years. I've been with her since middle school.
Shit.
Yeah.
Bro, I gotta give you that because that's like old school. Like you don't see that anymore. You see like 5-10 years, and it's like they're off. They're done.
Nah. We've been through a lot growing up. We met in middle school. We both kind of had the same problems. My mom and her mom were alcoholics, and we were kind of going through this thing. And we had a kid at a young age. At 15, we had our first kid. He's 23 now, and great kid. But I don't know. We just we never thought to. I mean, we've been separated, but not like broken up. Like she lived with her mom. I'd stay wherever I'm at. So there were periods of time where we weren't always together. But no, I just found it's just one of those things. Like if you really love somebody, you're gonna figure it out, is what it is. And that was the thing. Like my parents never figured it out. They always fought with each other, and then they cheated, and then they'd fight, and then they'd get back, and it's just like, wait a second. You just fucked somebody else and you're back. This doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
So now me and my wife, it's more of we take breaks. Like she'll do her thing, I'll do my thing, and and that's why I do a lot of my content creation. It's like it's my way of cheating without being with another. It's like
your hall pass.
Yeah, let my creativity just fucking go. Let me be this entrepreneur. That's my pass to this whole thing, and she gets to just do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to cook. She doesn't have to clean. She doesn't get to do traditional wife stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I go, that's your hall pass. This is my hall pass. We keep it at that. People are like, what do y'all fight about? I was like, spoons. Like, why did you buy these shitty plastic spoons? I typically get these. Like, yeah. We fight over dumb shit. One lady had fought. We were literally fighting about the brand of chips we wanted. And the lady's like, oh, look at you guys. So young and all. So I was like, we've been with each other for 26 years. This is what we argue about. I could look at if a girl passed by and I go, damn, look at her ass. I could say that in front of my wife, but my wife knows like I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay.
When I see she's in a lot of your I'll see some of your content. Like I saw one where you're out the mall this past weekend or whatever, and you're like the car, and you're like, and she's got no problem. Like there's some are like, don't put me in anything, or they'll not like me.
Funny story. So prior to TikTok and me blowing up on there, me and my wife used to do stuff on Instagram together. So my wife was always like the agitated, angry wife. And that's who she really is in real life. But she's a super sweet lady at the same time. And people really enjoy that. People were always like, your wife's going to kick your ass and you're just annoying the fuck out of her and all this stuff. But that was the shtick, right? That was the show. And but then something happened and we decided like, okay, it's not the best thing to have you on there or my daughter because there was a bunch of weirdos and stuff.
They can get
really weird sometimes, man. And so she said, please don't ever put me on there again because of something that happened out in public. And then recently she's been a little more like saying like, yeah, she's like, yeah, okay. She's like, but just don't always film me. And I rarely do it. So what I do, it's like the mall skit. Like,
yeah.
She knows it's happening. And
your daughter, that I'm about to say, she's got her own channel. Like, that your daughter on the other hand is in there a lot. Dragging you out and stuff. I'm like, God, dude, that's.
It was nice while it lasted. She's grown up and now it's, oh, don't do that. I'm embarrassed or I don't want my friends to see me. And she's growing up, dude. Yeah. Me bonding with her. I'm glad I have all those videos because she'll tell me, let's watch those videos together. And it's just a time where we bonded. Now, if I ask her to do a video, she's like, why? Well, what do I get? Or no, I don't feel like it. And it's just like, come on, you used to want to do these all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, okay. And so now I found another group of losers that I'm working with to be my yeah.
There's some some solid guys you work with that I see their own stuff, and they like you guys, but when you come together, it's really, really, really cool shit. I like it.
Yeah. We're working really hard right now. I'm not posting as much as I used to, but just because after 5 years of doing this, I'm trying to move myself into a position of.
I gotta ask you that. Somebody has talked about that, about the burnout, like about having to constantly produce every day, and people don't realize how long it takes.
Yeah, you know what? Burnout is real. But what I always tell people is, so just to give you some context of what happened to me was I made some really cool shit, right? That I thought was great. People loved it, and then I started feeding the machine where I needed to keep up with the algorithm and figure out what they wanted. And so I stopped being creative. I was only doing everything everybody else was doing, stitches, trends and stuff. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this shit anymore. So just this past year, well, last year, I started to realize like I'm not happy with this anymore. I'm not doing what I want anymore. I'm tired of making content for people. Like if I don't post about an Edgar or a torta or something Mexican, it doesn't blow up. But if I post anything else, it does bad. It does okay. And I'm just like, I know I can retrain my algorithm so that people can start enjoying this content. But burnout is real, man. Burnout happens because you start making content not for yourself. You start making content for other people, and it's like, well, fuck, if they're not watching it, if I'm not, what's the point? And then you scroll online and then you see 30 other people just did the same thing you did.
Exactly.
So it's like, what can I do that's different? And so I know this is going to take time. This new stuff's going to take time and people will get used to it. And I tested it out with working with my friend Brian when we did the Mexican HR skits. We said, is this possible?
He's a new white guy that I've seen in a couple, right?
No, that's Carcino.
Okay.
Brian is the other Mexican dude that I did we were just in cowboy hats. We were HR.
Okay. Yeah. I like those.
I told him, I was like, let's try this and see what happens. And it worked. I mean, those videos have almost 1 million views each. And so I said, okay, we can do this if we do it right, if we produce it correctly. And so now it's like, okay, I told my guys, this is what we're going to do. And they're on board. And so we're going to be producing much more higher quality content, actual storytelling like I used to. And we'll post maybe 3 or 4 times a week. You're not going to see me jump on anymore and do the random shit. I have a series now that's going to focus on San Antonio. But from my perspective, none of this gay ass, and the pearl and the Sunday night lights bullshit and twirling in dresses and shit or whatever. Yeah, everybody does the same thing. So I said, how am I going to differentiate myself in telling these stories about growing up in San Antonio? So
that's kind of, I noticed. Okay, San Antonio, we moved here about 6-7 years ago, in Minnesota, but my family's down from like New Braunfels. My mom is, and then I was born overseas in Germany. But anyway, we came down here, and I noticed that really cool nerd community, but they're all kind of separated.
Fucking Nazi over here.
But I wanted to bring them back together, like, because I'm into gaming, but I'm also into. I used to play Magic, growing up. It's just see, and we would get all they pigeonhole each other into these things. They'd all kind of stick to their own. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to go to a page where you can find out everything that's going on? I liked going and hitting different stuff and telling stories, because you'll notice at a lot of these events, everybody goes straight for the celebrities.
Yeah,
I like turning around and seeing the volunteers, the people that put it together. There's so many stories in this city that when you turn a camera around, that nobody takes the time.
Yeah, and you're right, and then that's how you build and establish a community for your platform. I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like when I did the stuff that I was doing in the food community where I would shit on other people's restaurants or whatever I was doing, I mean, people would pay me to come and shit on the restaurant. That's how good that was. But the thing is we're establishing something that everybody in San Antonio wants to play it safe.
Yeah.
They want to get the brand deal. They want to get this. Nobody gives a fuck. Like nobody cares. People want to be as authentic as possible. But when you have a lot of narcissistic people running around making it all about themselves or just starting drama, then it makes it hard for other people like myself to grow, because then they think, oh, well, this person's probably exactly like that person and that person and that person. So I'm at the point where if you were to type in San Antonio into your TikTok or Instagram, the first thing that comes up is nothing but foodies. Because no one here has, I mean, I'm not saying that nobody has creativity. There's probably like 5% of this entire creator population. Everybody's just doing food reviews, or I went to this pumpkin patch, and I'm like, or they're starting to get too political. I got a little political.
Yeah, I remember seeing
just for fun. Just for fun. I rage bait the shit out of people. I love doing that.
It was fun reading the comments because I'm sitting here. And I remember when you were doing it, what's his name now? That's part of he's got his own big podcast. The one that was running for was it Senator or was it Unsubscribed?
Brendan Herrera.
Yes, yeah. You were doing some stuff for him, and I'm like, oh, this is. I know people in San Antonio, they're gonna go at him, but just you held it tight, like you held strong to your shit, and it was fun to read the comments. Like everybody goes straight for the comments.
Yeah, everybody. I don't really give a shit. I think people want me to care about what they're thinking about, but I like feeding them a little bit.
Hmm.
So sometimes I'll make it seem like I care, and they're like, "You see," but I know that the person's gonna is so stupid. They're gonna comment. I'm just like, "You're just boosting my video."
Yep.
And then out of the thousands of people that are there talking shit, there's gonna be a few of them that are gonna be like, "Oh, you know what? This guy's not so bad. I like his content, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna follow him."
Yeah.
Uh, when I did one video post in particular, I lost 8,000 followers, and I was okay with that. Like I was just everybody's like, "Yeah, you're losing followers." Like, bitch, I don't give a shit. I was like, "You guys are gonna forget about what I said a week from now, and then I'm gonna be back onto my train, and
Hmm.
nobody cares. Like nobody cares." And I wanted to use that to prove a point to people that when you create content, it doesn't matter what you say or do. People are gonna hate you no matter what, no matter what. And so people are like, "Yeah, I can't post this, or I can't talk about that, or I can't talk about periods or whatever." I'm like, dude, nobody cares. Like you think about you like you scroll on TikTok.
Hmm.
I scroll, and there's plenty of videos that I see that have nothing to do with my interests, but the person can tell a really good story, so I
Yeah, yeah.
watch it. You know what I mean?
That's
Some lady was talking about these little clips that go to those fucking what are they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the
To
chain for your wallet,
the
or
chain for the fobs or
yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and it you could change out the thing, and I didn't know that you can. They were interchangeable. And she has a whole bucket of them, and she's like, "I put an egg one day." Like, oh, I'm so excited. I don't fucking wear that shit. But if she can talk about something so minuscule like that people like, I wouldn't sit there and watch this person. I would think that was stupid.
Yeah.
You know. But there's somebody out there. It's just her personality was so great. She really meant it. She really loves these things. She's talking about how she buys these, and it's just like, dude, I went and bought a fucking fridge, the mini fridge,
Hmm.
to put mini food in it because I saw some fucking old lady. Like, I don't fucking play with little girls' toys like that, but I was just like, I want a little turkey to put into my fucking refrigerator. Like,
I've seen them cook with their own little cast iron things and little
yeah,
eggs and bacon
yeah.
and
It was the mini brand's fridge. And
yeah.
you fucking, yeah, I fucking went out and bought a mini brand fridge. And I'm like, that's influence.
I
When
feel
somebody is can show you they're passionate about something, and it's I'm not even passionate about it. I don't play with little girls' toys, but it made me go buy one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I spent $20. I went hunting. Followers don't mean shit. I think what I try to tell people too, if you're so fixated on the views, the followers, and the likes, none of those metrics mean shit. I've been doing this for 5 years. Okay, anybody can go viral online. The only thing that matters is as long as you build a strong community of people. If you have, I have 250,000 followers, but in reality, I think only maybe 20,000 of those are legit
Yeah.
fans of my page, and they'll comment, and you'll see a lot of the same people commenting on my videos and stuff. If it goes viral, cool, whatever. But you'll see that, and the thing I tell people all the time is when you're creating a platform, you need to think about who am I talking to, and how can I engage with those people? Because at the end of the day, big secret here, right? You think that you have to make content and promote yourself. No, if you're good at what you do, your community will share your videos for you and they become your marketing team.
Yeah, yeah. I think to put on that for your like some of our biggest videos have been when like we went and hit Big Texas Terror,
Yeah.
and instead of everybody's going straight with these guys, I turned around and I did there was a gaming league, I think. I forgot what's there. Yeah, that game thing hit hard because it hit other, it was just the vendors. When we go to, we love a local con group called Retro City. They do many
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with this.
dude. They do stuff for the community. Like Joel's very vibrant about. He loves what he does, and that's what I'm like. And so I go and interview the vendors.
Yeah.
Because I also know there's a lot of us with depression, anxiety that can't get out to these things.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be cool to be able to feel like you're part of it without me? And so I interview the vendors. I put up the little tags. Hey, they're selling this year or this, and those are the ones that'll pick up more than sitting in with a
Yeah, because
celebrity.
people want their stories told. People love you can't I can't even tell you how many times I will be somewhere and I'll post something and somebody gets passes in the background. Oh my god, that was me, and then they're sharing it to 100 of their friends because they're like, look, I was in this video, this viral right now or whatever. But you're building a community, and there are ways to like structure that and like really get it going, but just making the content is worth it. So if you have, I hate when people say, oh, I got 200 views on this video. That's 200 people that watched your video that took the time to watch it.
Mhm.
Even if it was 30 people, that's a lot of people.
interested enough to sit there and watch.
Yeah,
I have 500,000 followers on TikTok, and some of TikTok has changed, but and I know that my videos are good and I'm doing my best. Some videos get like 400 views, 200 views, and you know what? It's because I'm not feeding the algorithm.
Yeah.
So it just tells me, hey, you know what? 237 people watched it. Nobody commented. I got a few likes. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
As long as you're having fun with it.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I first started. It's like,
Yeah, that feeling back.
yeah, I got that feeling back of like, I get to be new again. I get to experiment again because now I have to teach a whole new audience who I am and that version of me that I don't want anybody to, not to see, but not to have to deal with anymore creatively goes away. And so now I'm like doing all these things. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to bust my ass to treat this new audience like they've always been.
There's a difference between, I think I've seen people that do it for the likes and whatever, and people that are just getting on just to have fun and talk with people.
Yeah.
And I just growing up in San Antonio for you, was that something that was learned or kind of put into you, or was that something you got from your family? Like,
my grandmother was always somebody who, if you sat at the table with her, she'd make it a point to get to everybody at the table. She never ignored anybody. Even if she didn't get you to the table, she'd invite you to the kitchen. Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, how are you? Or, where are you from? Or whatever it is. And I think for me too, is just, I love talking to people because I grew up being bullied. I didn't have a lot of friends. And so one of the things was I never got to sit and talk with anybody. My dad left us at a young age, and I didn't have that opportunity to speak to other people about how I felt about things. And so I know what that's like. So when people come to me and they tell me their problems, it's not like I'm trying to be your counselor. It's just sometimes people just need somebody to listen to them.
exactly.
That's it. It has nothing to do about, oh, I want you to give me advice. It's just like, just listen to me, and that's how I feel. It's like, I just want people to listen to me, and making content is my way of asking people to listen to me. And they do, and it feels good. Being popular, like having seen all my middle school, elementary bullies,
I'm about to say, yeah,
doing that with me now, and they're like, "Oh, it was you're funny," and I'm like, "Fuck you! You fucking used to fucking be an asshole to me, and you hit me, and it's great." But at the same time, I feel bad for them because it's just like whatever they were going through at that time. I don't regret it. Somebody goes, if you could go back in time, Joe, would you change?" And I was like, no, because you people made me who I am right now.
Yeah.
And I would never want to change that.
That's what I was asking. I was asking, what would you now tell 5 or 7-year-old Joey, little Joe, no, not little Joe, that might go somewhere. But yeah,
Little Joe.
Was that about the time you started getting bullied, I guess? And then what would you tell that, I guess, that age?
Well, dude, I was bullied all my life, like even for my dad. Like, and not I don't mean that in a funny way. Like, my dad used to be extremely abusive to me and my mother. But I mean, if I could go back and tell him, it's cliche, but I'd just be like, just stick it out. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna end up liking the person you end up becoming. I think if I would have, I lived with my grandmother for a long time, for about like 5 years, and I was a spoiled brat. And I think if I would have stayed with her, I would have been a spoiled little fucked up kid, getting whatever he wants, and I wouldn't be working as hard as I am now. So I'm glad for that. But I would tell myself to just stick it out. It's gonna be okay.
I gotcha. You said you used to play Magic.
Yeah,
What else did you used to do? Well, what else did you? What did you nerd out to growing up?
Dude, I really I've always wanted to play D&D, and it had nothing to do with Stranger Things. This was when I was a kid. I went to Alien World when it was a store back in the day, and they used to sell Pokemon cards there. It was off of San Pedro near North Shore Mall. And I walked in one day and I saw these group of guys like telling stories. And I said, man, I like, what are they playing? And so the guy goes, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I sat there and I watched them play for like an hour. And I loved it so much because I love storytelling.
Mhm.
Like, I love Disney movies. I love all that stuff. So I love storytelling. I was like, this is a very interesting game. But growing up, I didn't know anybody or had any friends that could nerd out that way.
Yeah.
So it was in the game that I never got to try. Hopefully one day, I told myself I'm going to give myself a year to like actually learn the game, and then I'm going to find a group of friends to play D&D with.
I was telling him that I wanted, I was telling him because like you, me, I didn't have a lot of people that played with it. Like I grew up overseas, and weekend time, either I was with my dad, while the kids, all my friends, or so-called friends,
Mhm.
were spending the night with each other. I was roading around. My dad, he would DJ at the different clubs,
Mhm.
and we played Tejano music
Mhm.
in
Or like
Germany.
tamales.
No, no, we
We
played
played
pure
tamales.
Tejano music, and it's
Yeah.
weird because we're in Germany, but all the bases had Mexicanos that listened to Tejano music, and they would travel hours to go to that club, and so I learned how to set up, how to DJ and stuff. If I wasn't doing that, I was hanging out with like the airmen
Mhm.
on base, playing Magic or D&D, and
Mhm.
just getting into it because I didn't have regular friends,
Yeah.
like kind of like
Yeah.
you had to find them where you could, and I
Yeah.
think growing back up then, it kind of helps now dealing with my kids, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I was telling him that it'd be nice to get like a one shot or a two nighter or record a series with like locals,
Yeah.
doing it, and kind of see how that
That'd be
goes.
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just to play and have fun with it.
He had his character, and he said something about lifting this guy, and there's like a magnet, and it just takes you. It's crazy. I was like, fuck.
I started messing around with like I'm a gamer now. The girl and I started messing around with Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know if you get a chance to. It's close
played
to
Baldur's
enough to
Gates, yeah.
take. Yeah, that Baldur's Gate was like right now I'm like messing around with a friend with it, and so it's very story intensive,
Yeah.
So, but I like those games. I grew up playing RPGs,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy and
I played a
things
lot
like
of those
that.
too. I played a lot of RPGs. Final Fantasy X was like my game. Kingdom Hearts, I love Kingdom Hearts. But I really love horror games. Resident Evil was the first. I mean, I had a Super Nintendo, but the first mature game I ever played was Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. It was 2 discs, and I remember playing on that big old 13-inch TV that my grandfather had in his house with the PS1. And ever since then, I was hooked into horror and storytelling. And I just Silent Hill came out, and
Yeah,
Parasite Eve.
I got lucky with that. Had one of my defining moments. I get to interview Chris Redfield, the original Chris Redfield,
Mhm.
and Albert Wesker from the first one. They were down here.
I didn't even know they
And,
were fucking here. If I would have known, I would have been all up in that
Damn, I
shit.
should have hit you up. I'm like, I didn't even think about it. Like,
If
I
you
know
hear anything Resident
Yeah.
Evil, dude, let me know. Resident Evil and Jurassic
dude,
Park.
I got you. Trust me.
Yeah. And so my son growing up, he's like, yeah, everything you play is lame. Now he's playing these games, especially Dino Crisis. So
Dino Crisis.
yeah,
Dude.
yeah, we spent $129 on Dino Crisis Part 2. I said, play Part 2, then play Part 1. And then he played them and shit. And he's like, holy fuck, like this is a really good game. I was like, yeah. So yeah, me and my son, we bond over that kind of stuff. We buy old consoles and we just sit there and play video games, and it's fun.
Did you get a chance to see the Romero,
Yes,
a Residence of it?
the
Yeah.
Romero documentary.
Yeah, they
I
won.
follow
They
Residence
just
of
won.
Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
really awesome at that. And then they're making a second. Right now, they're those actual original actors that played Albert
Yeah.
Chris. They were on location. They're doing a follow up to their short movie that they
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
and that's coming out soon. I'm
They're
like,
doing that, and then I know they're gonna do a Dino Crisis version too, a live version, which I'm like, oh my god, I really hope. Residence of Evil is a really good YouTube channel. Like I love the stuff that they do. Those are guys I want to meet one day. But yeah, I love George Romero, man. He's the reason why I got into zombies.
yes, yes.
I remember seeing Night of the Living Dead in the black and white version, and then what's his face? Oh my god, I forget his name. Anyways, the 1980s version came out of Night of the Living Dead, and that terrified the shit out of me. It just the ever living crap out of me. And I said, okay, like how much better can this get? And then you had Day and Dawn and all that stuff. And my son goes, oh, this is so creepy. And I was like, the prosthetics and the makeup, like it felt real. Now you have these fucking CGI zombies. I love The Walking Dead. I can watch The Walking Dead. I was reading Walking Dead before it was a show, and I used to place bets with my friends. I was like,
Yep.
I bet you I know who's gonna die, and they'll be like, what? How did you know? Because they didn't know it was a comic.
Yeah.
So
my brother and I were like that. Oh, my dad's like, shut up.
yeah, we still watch it now, like with Daryl and Carol and
I gotta catch
Dead
up on the
City.
one with what's his name with
Dead City.
no, I got first
Daryl?
season Dixon Daryl the Daryl Dixon one.
It's really, really good. It's really good. It's really good. I really hope with the cliffhanger that I think it was World Return or World Beyond, they played with the idea of there was a zombie that was fucking running or something.
Really?
Or walking. Yeah, I forget how it ended, or they were saying that there were zombies that were running or something like that. And I was like, that Robert Kirkman did have some issues where the zombies were like moved, like, well, that was in the last season. They were climbing over the fucking fence.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was like new. Yeah.
Did you ever get into like the offshoots for like Return of the Living Dead?
Oh
2
yeah,
and stuff
I
like-
have Return of the Living Dead on 4K.
What's your name's coming next month? The one that is it Return of the Living Dead 2, where she's got the spikes and puts the you know what I'm talking
I know
about?
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's gonna. They're having Tarman's coming down.
Is he actually gonna be
they're all
here this
coming-
time?
I got you too.
Yeah,
Trust
let me
me,
know
it's gonna
because
be
my
fucking
son,
fun, dude.
me and my son bought a Return of the Living Dead poster, an OG poster, and he's got everybody's signature but Tarman.
I noticed when I got to know this community and what I wanted to do, bring it back to, and or what I noticed why the channel too is because this community gave so much to me with my family. Granted, when I came down, I had a wife, and the city might have taken that. Well, that pendejo that worked at 7-Eleven that said my wife promised him something different. I'm like, I lost to that shit, but I got my boys out of it, and so it's just I wanted to get back because this community. There's a core group of people that are really good, really kind. There's some people in it to their own, but there's a lot of nerds that we all kind of grew up and went through the same thing. We were picked on a certain way, or we done a certain way, and I think the kids growing up today don't realize how bad it got sometimes. Like beaten up bad, or being chased, or like really being not looked great upon. And it's cool now. You're okay to wear Pokemon, or look, you got Attack on Titan, and
I love Attack on
bro,
Titan,
and so it's just really cool and different. And I wanted to get back. We're not born and raised here. I feel like we're starting to get to know, kind of cool about it.
I wasn't born here either. I was born in Spain.
Really?
Well,
the military family, or?
No, that's where my mom and my grandfather are from.
Okay, shit.
My mom was 17. My dad was apparently in the military, and he went out there, met my mom, knocked her up, and my dad's like, "We're gonna find this asshole." So
there we go. I played in the Junior World Cup down in Marseille, right near Spain, right on the edge. And then we would go visit because we were over there a lot. And so it was fun. I enjoyed being over there. But back to her, I wanted to kind of get back because now my kids. So when I brought my oldest down, he was like 3 or 4 years old, and kid would taste like pepperonis. Had to pull them off a pizza. Yeah. Now this fucker eats like the hottest Takis and then dips them in shit. I'm like, yes, we got one. Big tall 6'1" white kid. The lightest complexion, but
I think I met him once. No, right?
No, not yet. I'll show. Trust me. When you see him, you'll know.
You talking about Bentley?
Yeah, Bentley.
Complete 180 of him.
I can imagine.
Complete 180. Coolest kid ever.
My other one, Bentley goes to St. Anthony's right now, playing basketball, stuff like that. So I'm excited for him. Yeah, dude. And so I really want to get back to the community, and like it's just I like this. Like we got our San Antonio's got its stereotypes and stuff like that, but at its core, there are some good people here. And there's assholes that'll ruin things for everybody, but I noticed you do a lot of fun with it, but you also you do care for your community. Someone interviewed and you were walking around showing them where you lived and stuff like that. There was an interview I watched. Someone did back a bit ago. So like I said, I watched a lot of your stuff, and so it was cool to see you talking about your city. Talking about.
I think I love San Antonio, and it's not a lot of times the city. Sometimes it's the people. Unfortunately, San Antonio has a very crab in a bucket mentality. They'll do anything to